Hey, welcome everybody. It's great to have you here. I have a fun topic this evening, and actually I'm doing a course myself because I'm a super nerd. I love it. And so everything that I study, I try to pay forward. And this was a really recent topic that I've studied into as a refresher. And I thought, wow, I'm just going to jump in because I feel like everyone's scaling, which is super fun. I want to remind you of what your why is. And we've just had a little discussion off camera, and some of our whys evolve. And so that should be like, if you think back to your business model 5 years, 10 years ago, it will not be the same as now. Mine definitely isn't. But to grow in your own evolution is the whole purpose, I feel. And so, because of that evolution, today I'd like to talk to you about compelling and converting. Right. So if I had a snap look at your social media today, not to judge it, but just to assess where you're at, who are you, what is your main topic of conversation, and I didn't know you, like we have formed small relationships now where I'm feeling into the vibe of what you're really passionate about. So I might have a bit of backstory, but let's just pretend we were algorithms in the night and I'm just scrolling, late at night as we do. I've got a few snacks. I just stopped off and bought some for tonight's social viewings. And I'm scrolling, and then something catches my eye on a video of yours or a post that you've put up today, for example. And it caught my eye, and I went back and thought, oh, this is juicy. I want to have a look at this person's page and see what their philosophy is. Do you think, if you're honest with me tonight, that your message is strong? Or is it a little bit all over the place? Would I be able to have a look at your page in one snapshot with maybe a month's viewings, not even bothering to scroll back a year or two, because who does that really, unless they're obsessed with you? Usually it's your haters that do that. But if I had a look at a month's page, on the grid of your Instagram, your Facebook, or your TikTok tonight, would I know that you had something to sell? Would I know that you were there for business, or would I just be a little bit confused? And a couple of weeks ago, we talked into this beautiful rhythm of gridding. And gridding is, part education, part showing who you are in essence. It's part giving the sell. I know that everything shouldn't be hard sell. It shouldn't be product or pushy. But what I want to really understand is your messaging strong enough that it hits my subliminal? Do I know that you can help me with my problems? Are you the solution that I'm looking for? Because this is what generates into sales. And you don't need likes to make sales. All of my clients come off, mostly off my Instagram, and half of them, I've never met them before. And I think, you've never engaged in a post, right? We think the ones giving us the little likes and the comments are going to translate into sales, but that's where you're mistaken. So compelling and converting, and it isn't about being pushy. It isn't even about the call to action that we've discussed. And it's definitely not about copying and pasting scripts. A lot of people or influencers will sell you that as coaches, like a social media coach might do a bundle or a package where they've got some scripts and they've got some templates and they're giving you a formula and they're like, yep, run for that, it's going to work. You may have even done that before. If you have, drop it in the chat. You may have paid some big bucks for that and wondered, why did this not work for me? Well, because it's inauthentic. And this is the thing, we're diving into buyer psychology, and whoever's going to buy from you is going to buy from your energy. Now, I take it even a step higher. I believe it's all written in the stars. This is where jealousy doesn't work for me, because as above, so below. So somebody that thinks that they're going to take a gig off me, well, it ain't so unless I allow it, right? So this is, I worked my whole media career in this, where it was literally dog eat dog. I was very confident to be able to pivot and turn and be in my own energy. Like, even if somebody's copycatting, I'd be like, well, good luck to them, because you ain't me. And that's a sense of confidence that I want you to really dive into with your own business model. That what is it about me that makes people actually say yes? and you've already got that in you. Just do a little bit of reflection tonight and ask yourself, so that your subconscious mind can track the answers for you and say, what is it about me that makes people say yes? It doesn't have to be 100 people. You could hit the jackpot with 2 incredible clients that just keep coming back, or 2 incredible business builders that build an empire under you and you're scoring, right? So give up, surrender to the fact that it doesn't always happen the way that you thought it would happen, but you're trusting that process because there's something authentic in you that is attractive. What makes somebody feel safe, seen, and ready to buy? And you have already experimented in this with your friendships. What is it that your friends come to you for? Is it to tell you their secrets? Is it for a particular type of love language that you give? This is what I want you to weave into your branding tonight. And also feel into the energetic difference between convincing and inviting, because one of those words feels desperate. And we all get to it, right? We may have a big bill to pay, or we may have, we may be in the run for a prize. In this particular business model, there's always the juice being offered. Yeah, I've just missed out on a cruise, and I can feel my energy shifting when I get to I just need one more person to say yes to me. But you know what? The surrender is what keeps you authentic. Instead of those little tidbits that may affect your business in a small little gravy jump, that little next little, that little tasty thing that takes you a little bit higher. But we're here for the long run. This is your brand. This is who you are, turning up on your social media to not just truly believe in yourself and back yourself, but to help others with a servant heart. So how to speak to desire, not desperation, is the thing that I'd like you to focus on tonight. What does my person that's finding me within the algorithms desire? How can I jump into their heart? So tonight I'm going to speak into a little bit about not just the mental aspect of this, but the feelings aspect, and that's where we draw the balance. Yeah, the masculine, the feminine. That's where we get into the scroller's psychology and the foundation that they're looking for to stop, pause, and listen to what you're presenting and say, this person is the one that can help me. It'll action immediately when you actually break this down and have it acting almost without thinking about it too much. It's a natural way of communicating just by being you. Yeah, so let's have a look at the issues that are surrounding us, though. Scrollers are overstimulated. So that says to me that we need to really hit home with the messaging quickly. I would say you have about 3 seconds, if you're honest with yourself, to capture someone's attention. So we spoke into hooks the other day and how the subconscious mind looks for negative hooks. So I'm not asking you to be negative on your social media, but you might plant the seed that this was the problem that I faced and this is how I resolved it. You see what I'm saying? Whereas a lot of us in our perky positivity would put the solution first because we think someone's scrolling looking for a solution. But know this, anyone that's sinking doesn't actually know they need a solution until you point blank tell them what the problem is first. And this is marketing 101. So I'm going to tell you what the issue is, and that is my negative hook. And then I'm going to show you that I've overcome it so that I become, my services or whatever I'm offering to you becomes saleable. Are you with me on that? So people scroll also in a defensive state. And this is where you get trolls, you get haters, or you get people like not engaging. You'll see all those people in your stories. Why did they never ever give me a like? They're, this voyeuristic. It's a weird little ick when you first start working online. But, you know, I really want you to just get over that and realize that everybody that you're speaking your truth to is a potential client once you master this. Stop obsessing about the likes. Stop obsessing about whether or not people are sharing your particular interesting things that you're putting out there into their stories. Once you release caring about that stuff, that's when that will land and happen. Yeah, see, energy goes where it flows. So don't allow your energy go into the negative. Oh, boo-hoo, victim state, right? They didn't share my story. I gave them a call to action. Please share, please share. Just know that it is the algorithms that dictate who sees what you're putting out there, and they will be similar people to you. This is why algorithms work in our favor. They can't not. Like, it's amazing, actually. It is the law of attraction. Know this. The nervous system decides before the mind. Now, I'm so aware of this. I've started having this be the conversation on my page in the last 6 weeks, you'll notice. I'm actually speaking into that, you know. Here's why you said no. You know, here, and I'm telling them what the problem is. I'm actually almost channeling the psychic thoughts that they're having and dictating what they're thinking before they actually see the rest of my video. Am I getting a lot of engagement? No. Is it prickling their conscience? Yes. Will they come back? Absolutely. Yeah, because it's psychology. Okay, so your content has to do one of these in 3 seconds. Create recognition, create relief, create curiosity. One of those 3. And then I've added this 4th one there just for, because more is more. Nothing to lose, nothing to prove. You're not there to prove anything to anyone. You're telling your story. What are you an expert at? If you're not sure, throw it into ChatGPT tonight. Tell ChatGPT a bit about yourself, your background, your history, what you've worked in, what traumas you've overcome, and ask ChatGPT to show you a little bit of a business model hook for yourself in what solutions could I help another solve. Maybe you've come out of domestic violence like I have. So by the law of design, I attract a lot of women that come to me to just hold their hand so that they find their voice again. Yeah. I have overcome anorexia. So I help people with eating plans. I help them overcome. I want you to really channel in tonight what pain has become your purpose, and that's where you're an expert. If you're still struggling in it, though, don't try and hold somebody else's hand. I want it to be authentically something that you have conquered, and only then do we get the expert badge. Drop me a 1 in the comments if this is helping you niche in what your next post might be about. And why have you been attracted to a wellness community that is trying to help on the other level? So my take on that, as I mentioned, for my why, is to help raise the vibrational frequency of humanity. Like, I can help them with sound. I can help them with meditation. I can help them by praying for them. I can help them with teaching them how to have, exercise and diet and all the things. Yeah. Taking them on retreats. They come back feeling high vibe, but if they go back into a toxic home, guess what happens? And so it all journeys hand in hand. But I want you to find your unique way of storytelling that. That is the gold. So the pause point is where we compel somebody to draw them in to buy. Because if you're giving everything away on your social media, it is not reciprocal. It's not sustainable. You end up just like another one of those ones doing it for the ego. You have to build this into a business for it to continue. And that happens by conversion. Converting somebody that's doom scrolling, actioning your services, and getting results. So how do we do this pause point? And we all think when we pause, right? Things drop in. We have compelling content that creates a pause, a bit of shock tactics. An interesting hook, like I mentioned, because subconscious mind loves to see a negative hook, because subconscious mind wants to problem solve that negativity. It's on alert for fear factor. Yeah, that's the part of your brain that's keeping you alive. So you can action that. You know, one of my posts today was, let me just get the wording right, because I've got the memory of a little sieve, but let me just pull it up. I did a live on it. So follow through with different things, because some people are going to listen to a live. Some people are going to look at a still post. People are different, right? And it was this: I want to lose weight before I start working online. That was my hook. It was negative. I knew that that would resonate to most women. I made today's post targeted to women's insecurities. My next slide said, I don't have the energy to start something new. I'm using every pain point that every person that rejects when I offer them this business, I'm using it for my social media. Because if one person's saying it, another will say it, another will say it, another will say it. And until I learn how to push back intelligently against that, I haven't given them a solution. Is this making sense? So every person you meet in your inbox is giving you what they need to hear on your social media, and that's genius. And if you work like that, it's the same principle as any trauma. The pain becomes purposeful. The pain point for somebody that rejects your offering in your business gives you the juice with social media to actually learn the language to hook them in. And my third little poster today was, I've tried working online before and it didn't work. Right? How many in this new age have started this and say to you, it's MLM, it's this, you know, it's their nervous system protecting them. So speak to the pain point. Create something that makes them stop in their socks and go, shit, let me read this. Maybe this chick's got the answer. Maybe this guy's got the answer for a few of you guys that are watching this on my recording. All right, so we're getting people to pause, because when you pause, you make a decision. Yeah? When you pause in meditation, that's when the answers come in. My husband explains it to my family or my children like this: never make a decision while you're angry. It's like looking into a pool of water that's stirred up. Sit still, wait for the water to come. This is emotions, right? Pause, and then the answers will come. The brain works like this. So if I can accelerate your pausing, I have more of a voice. Okay. So pause comes from truth. I'm a sharpshooter. In fact, last week, that was my messaging on social media. I'm here to tell you the truth, and the truth hurts. All right. So no apologies here. You know, you can't handle the truth, bugger off, literally. You know, that is part of who I am as a brand. And you will work out what your truth speaking is. You don't have to be as brash and upfront as me. Your clients are definitely going to be different to mine. But truth speaking is authentic, right? No apologies. No, if you're unsure, then that's going to come across in your messaging, even without you saying it. People can feel it, right? We're very intuitive beings. And I feel like in this season, we're becoming more and more intuitive. Your job is pattern interruption, right? Patterns happen. If a person comes to me and the goal is to lose weight, I will ask them what their journey's been before I try to give them a plan, because I'm not going to give them a plan that they've already done and that they've sabotaged. Like, we need to interrupt the pattern and make a change here. So it can be very simple. For some people, the blockage might be an emotional attachment to food. It might be not loving themselves enough. There are so many reasons that we sabotage a good thing, right? So pattern interruption is key to getting somebody to pause. Permission. You're not broken. I was like you too. Connection, feeling. In fact, if we can connect from the heart space, people are much more inclined to buy. Think about yourself when you've been out shopping. Yeah, you might be out and there's a salesperson that's really pushy. that clearly is doing it for the money. They're not interested in you. You're just a number to them. And just feel into how that makes you feel and whether or not you buy, or whether you buy an upsell with that person, or whether you maybe buy something once but you never come back. Our job here is to have repeat business. Yeah. People coming back to you because they trust you. That's feel good. That's making a big difference. Nothing builds belief like proof. Now, a lot of the girls have been doing this really well, like the before and after. This is me before I took the collagen. This is me after I took the collagen. Let me help you. This is me when I spilt the red wine on my white linen cushion. And this is me when I used the stain remover to remove it without cheating. You cannot negate that if you're scrolling. And if your algorithm's taking it to somebody that has the similar interests as you, they're definitely you're going to capture their attention. They're going to stop. They're going to say, hey, I spilt wine last week. Or I looked in the mirror and I thought that my skin's getting a bit saggy. Like, you're appealing to a problem with a very valid solution, and you're not just saying it, you're proving it. There's no negating that. That is money in the bank. That's gold. So I want you to use everything that happens in your life that's perceivably negative and turn it into a positive. This is how I make so much content for my social media. Like, people think, oh my gosh, it's so hard. How did you plan it? I'm like, I didn't plan it. Shit happens, and I just capture it on the phone. Like, what have you got in your hand? You've got a phone. Video everything. And if you're not going to post it today, you don't have to. You've got something in the bank for later when you've got a clever something channeling in. And you look, divine timing is incredible. Now, that turns off objections, because people object to things that they don't understand. All right, somebody's already said no to you in the inbox with a voice drop. You might have messaged them 3 or 4 times. It's annoying, right? And then next minute, they're dropping into your inbox going, oh my gosh, I saw that video that you made where you've reverse aged and you look 10 years younger now. There is no negating that. You have interrupted the pattern. You've made them pause, and you've turned off their objections, because who doesn't want to look younger? Right? So I'm appealing to what they perceive to be their problem, and it's because I walked it first. And this is where we're leading as leaders. And there has to be leaders in this new age of working online, I believe. Like, they're the ones that are absolutely going to smash it and make the money with it. We're showing others how to do it, and that feels good. So I've broken it down here on the right column as hook formulas, simple and teachable. No one talks about this, but that's a good little thing to put at the top of these are hooks that make someone stop. Hey, what's no one else talking about? Gossip, itching ears, but you're actually talking into truth. Here's another one. If you've tried everything and nothing's worked, well, who hasn't been there? Yeah, even in business. Whatever it is that you're pitching, if you're pitching the business model, I want you to speak into that. If you're pitching into products or services, I want you to speak into that. If you're speaking about all of it, alternate it. Let it be an all and. And everybody's tried stuff and hasn't had it work. That's why they say no initially. This isn't a motivation issue. It's a nervous system one. I've been using that one a lot for the last 2 weeks. Everybody has got stuff happening with their nervous system that sabotages them. Yeah, we do our meditations to hold a lot of money, and next minute we're pushing it away. We're saying no. We all do it because we've all had trauma happen. All of us have triggers for the nervous system, and until we learn to manage our feelings, which are energy, we won't be successful. So be patient with your people. You were there too, right? That's why you're aspiring for change. Here's a great one. I used to think blah until I realized blah. So you've given them the before and after in a simple hook. And I'm sure that you'll come up with a lot of them, and I'd love you to share them with me too. Let's have a challenge this week where we come up with 3 hooks that really work and test it. And don't hide your hooks. Make them bold. Bullshit. It's the first thing that's going to capture the 3 seconds of somebody's attention. Stop hiding. Slap it over their head. It's a big, hey guys, I'm here in my red dress. Look at me. Problem, solution. All right. So problem, solution, that's great. We've spoken into that before, but I alluded to the fact that what makes sales is connection. How you make somebody feel. And this is where content does not need to be perfect. In fact, be a perfection rebel. Be somebody that's brave enough to just slap it out there hard and fast with the truth that connects to whatever you know your audience needs. And this takes guts. People don't want experts anymore. They've realized that a lot of experts run in ego. They want mirrors. They want to be able to see potential for themselves in you when they turn up on your feed. So show them you doing the boring shit. Last week, I spoke to you about videos going viral about eating an apple in the car, doing mundane things. I tested that this week, if some of you were watching on my social media, and it works. Like when I was doing mundane things today, yesterday I did one of vacuuming my carpet with the steam cleaning solutions in it. And boring, right? Years ago, I never would have put that type of thing on my social media. I just would have thought that was too ridiculous. But I got a lot more likes, probably double the likes for that video, because people can relate. They're like, oh, you know, I'm not putting myself above someone else. It's relatable because we all have to do the boring stuff. So I want to see videos of you unstacking the dishwasher, walking the dog, doing those mundane things that everyone does with a really clever hook on top of it, problem, solution, and we're actually connecting with that person emotionally then. Authority comes from lived truth, not polish. So I will reiterate, if you haven't lived it authentically, then it probably shouldn't be in your messaging. I'm going to say that again. If you haven't lived it, and it isn't who you are authentically, it shouldn't be in your messaging, no matter how it worked for somebody else that you are mimicking. Chuck that stuff out and be a rebel. Get in there and look, if like one of the girls in our group, she couldn't find her niche. And I said to her, hey, you're a cat woman. We all call you the crazy cat woman. Let's talk about the cats, because like we know that all these cat videos go viral, right? So like wheel it back into whatever you are fascinated with, what you're attracted to, and I'll guarantee it, there's a stream of people that are exactly like you to find that algorithm. Oversharing isn't connection, clarity is. Oversharing isn't connection. And last week I dipped my toe into, yeah, we could all, you know, air all our dirty laundry online, but we shouldn't, because that's trauma bonding. I want you to share authentically with what you have a solution for, and that will funnel into sales. Drop me a 1 if that's making sense. Thank you. All right, so we're going to create a connection triad. Everything in nature is 3s, right? It's balance, it's form. This connection triad should happen with every post. So, all right, I've said to you, tonight I'm going to go and have a look at your social media and see if I can, at one snapshot, identify what you're selling me. Or are you just playing there? Yeah, are you just playing? Yeah, you put up what you had for dinner, which is cute. Like everyone engages with that, right? You put up your pet and you put up the birthday and you got lots of birthday wishes. But if I looked at your page tonight, would I know what you were helping me solve? That's what I'm looking for, right? We're fishing here. And here's a secret. Yeah, every post should include at least one of these. Recognition, that's me. This is me. This is my pay. It feels egotistical when you first start working online, but you've got to make the story about you. Otherwise, people, one, they're not bothering to look through your window, yeah, because they're coming in to see you, yeah, and it's a bit of a head mess to get over yourself in this. But if you can work in that I'm helping others, like I'm doing this to help you, you want them to come knock on your door to find you, right? It's no different well, actually, once when I was looking for real estate for a studio, one of the solicitors that we got to have a look at the contract said to me, do you want this to be a dog, what did he call it? Do you want it to be a dog business or a cat business? I said, what do you mean? And he goes, well, a dog business is when you have a solid space with an address and the mail comes there and the client will come to the door. And the cat business is where you work online and, you know, cats don't come home all the time. You know, they're out and about and they're prowling around at night. And I said, well, I want it to be both. And he's like, okay, good, we've negotiated that. But working online, it has to be a cat business, right? We've got to get the algorithms bring people to our door. And they won't come to look at what you ate for dinner. They won't come to wish you a happy birthday unless they've got connection. So we need them to recognize who am I and what's my story. Yeah. So telling your story is key to this. Yeah. Just like the ancients did in a circle, they problem solved by telling the story. Now, 2 is validation. Validation. I'm not wrong or broken. And this is the messaging. Yeah. We tell the story of what we've walked through, the problem, and then we connect with the client by assuring them that just because you're walking through this, you're not wrong and you're not broken. Neither am I. Yeah. And I'm here to show you that I'm just that one step further ahead than you with the solution. And we're going to reframe. Everything with a frame around it stands out better. We're going to reframe the storyline of that particular problem with a aha moment. Oh, that's why. That's why. Okay, I gave you a little example then. Like this morning, my topic happened with 3 chats in my inbox of people that said no to my business. Yeah, my business offering is going out to strangers that don't yet have connection with me. And they said no. Their nervous system went, oh, I don't even want to watch a video on it. I was like, I got you. So I used that energy to create content because I know they're watching. Then I check my stories and guess who was having a little peekaboo? Well, this is psychology, guys. Yeah, like, so I really hope this is helping you understand that when we see things this way, there is nothing that's bad. Yeah, those particular people in my life are dictating how I should communicate to reach more people like that with a really great solution for their fears. Okay, so we have the head and the heart connection. And anyone that knows anything about manifestation, this is how it works. The head, we've got the thought, has to be merged with the energy, but it works the same way, fractals, patterning, in everything in the universe. We have to feel to connect. I've got to feel to connect. If I'm not, it's inauthentic. The head is logic, recognition, it's the call out, the thought, the behavior, the struggle. Yeah, I can identify with what I think you're going through. And that's why I'm here online speaking about it. Yeah. But then I'm going to weave in some heart space with that, some emotional state, some validation. I'm going to show you that I get it. And I'm going to actually make you feel that you're not alone by being authentic and confident to tell my story, because I recognize you're me just a few hot seconds ago. You're not there yet. So I'm going to be the voice that says the blinking obvious so that you have an aha moment. Drop me a 1 in the comments if this is making sense, to weave in these 2 things together and create feelings which then create connection, which leads to sales. Yeah. So nobody's going to empty their pockets unless they're sure that you are giving them a solution. I don't care what that solution is. That person might have asthma and be really darn sick of cleaning their shower with bleach because their asthma flares up every time. Let's not make big problems and little problems have a difference, because they don't. Because if a problem is a problem for somebody, a problem's a problem, right? It's relevant. It's not up to me to decide that I'm just going to help you with big problems, not little problems, because if somebody has a problem with allergies, that's a really big problem for them. And if I can't relate, then I can't do the messaging accurately. So we're creating feelings, which create reaction, which create tiny shifts. And yes, shifts don't happen overnight. Sometimes they do. This is where saying the messaging over and over, just like the big advertisers do, it takes a minute to drop in. It takes 100 times to say something on repeat to drop in. And this is where I need to check your social media and see whether your messaging is powerful. Is it consistent? Is it strong? Or are you all over the place? We have to make people feel lighter, seen, and empowered for them to hand over a single dollar. Connection, because they feel good in our presence. Lives do this beautifully. Messaging with a voice drop does this beautifully. When somebody says no to you, instead of getting offended by it, leave them a really nice message and thank them for their courage to be honest. This creates a connection. It creates a bond instead of rejection. And so remember that nobody remembers what we say. They remember how we leave them feeling. I really hope that's dropping in tonight, because this is the energy of any business, actually. You go back to the hairdresser that leaves you feeling great. You go back to the sales assistant in the store that leaves you feeling heard, not trying to get you to try on all these ugly things that she loves. Yeah, so it's heart-mind connection. There is some logic here happening, but it's how I'm leaving that customer feel. And maybe that person isn't a customer yet. That's where I really need to connect and bond with them. So here is a formula. Call out the struggle. Write this down. It's a behavior, and show them that you get it. Quite simple, actually. Use what you've traveled. Yeah. Maybe I'm an animal person and I have a problem with, I don't know, like, I don't know why I said animal person. Maybe I'm an animal person. I had a trouble with cleaning off their coats. What am I going to give as a solution? Because every single animal person is going to have that issue, and I want it to be toxic free. Number 2, validate, empathize, make them feel understood. Now, this is where we have the up leveling, the upper hand to what we're busting out of. Narcissists don't have this ability. They fake it. This is where we're going to be dividing, separating, because as people's consciousness lifts, they're going to realize they've been duped in the old system, and they're going to want to quantum leap into something that actually has some empathy. Not everybody has that. So that's your genius sign level. It's amazing, actually, if you think about it. And if you realize that every old corporation's run by narcissists, what a time we're living to take the gravy train back. And this is where I'm jumping into people's inboxes when I first look at their page and go, they're fairly spiritual. I drop in and I go, did you know that the spiritual ones always traded in the commerce in every single loop, in every single history reset? And then that person inevitably wants to jump onto a video call. And even if they don't want to join me yet, it's a very, very interesting connection and conversation, which will lead to something down the track, because we're here to help. We're here to make friends. We're here to have some fun. Number 3, here's how. Give them the next step, the tiny shift or the perspective. Don't give them everything. You have to leave them wanting more, but give them a little push. Give them a little push. Somebody has to, because they're looping. You're the pattern breaker. You're the one that says, hey, stop, look, I was you. I fixed it. This is what I did. I want to give you all the juice, but you need to connect with me. I've taken the first step, you take the second. And 4, show them the outcomes. We spoke about before and after pictures. Nobody can negate this. The problem solutions, the testimonials from clients that have worked with you. This is money in the bank. Yeah, we're showing them results that could happen in their life if they back themselves financially. Amazing. People love content that shows them, not just tells. Most people, a lot of people like me are visual, like I don't even hear what you say. I'm all into the juicy, what does this look like? How does the look of that feel? Yeah, so we need to appeal to different types of people, and that's why I suggest on your gridding, you approach things different ways. So some of them you're giving the storytelling, some of them you're giving the live because they want to get in and they want to communicate and connect with you, ask you questions. Others you give them a beautiful visual. We're appealing to different types of people watching. All of them are there for us. They just have different ways of seeing, feeling, hearing things. And the here's how is that bridge. We're creating a bridge, a connection bridge, by telling them how. Here's how you do it. That makes me the expert. If I've done it and I've crossed the bridge, I'm the expert because I'm appealing to the person that needs a bridge and desires to cross the bridge. And anything beyond that is inauthentic. So here's your homework exercise. I want you to rewrite an old post that you did. A post maybe even that you got not so many likes for. I want you to remove advice from the post and add recognition and add one emotional truth. So we've got the facts, the logic with the feelings and the connection. The emotion is coming from the heart space. Do you think that you can manage that? And let's repost the same visuals, but change the wording, change it with a hook. Yeah, change it up and test it, test the algorithms. What we're actioning here is micro shifts, and that's where the magic happens. How to move someone emotionally without selling. Yeah, I want to actually manipulate the energy of somebody else's feelings. And it might be with something silly like vacuuming. Yeah, because everyone thinks a lot when they're vacuuming. Everybody thinks a lot when they're in the car. Everybody thinks a lot when they're washing the dishes. So doing these things lead us into a particular trance state where we're meditating actually. And these are amazing conversation starters. I'm moving somebody's emotions without selling to them. I'm creating internal shifts, and I'm not even bothering to call them to action yet. Yeah, the call to action is like, buy here, share the post, drop me a DM. We're telling somebody what to do. For now, we're just focusing on this heart space connection, because a buyer is someone who's already moved internally. A buyer is already moved internally. Make a habit of asking somebody when they add you as a friend, welcome them with a voice note and say, what drew you to my page? It's amazing what you'll find. What drew you to my page? What energy were you feeling? What are you here for? I can't wait to get to know you. Yeah, I'm already opening up this might weird the odd person out, but they're not your people. Yeah, but if you're truly connecting without an agenda before you're pushing a sales on them, then they're going to want more of that because you've made them feel welcome. This is what I call a micro shift. We're creating from confusion to clarity, from shame to self-compassion. I've been there too. My post today about, are you stalling to work online? You're saying to yourself, I'll work online when I lose weight. Well, yeah, there's a million other reasons in my head too to not do it. But do I listen to that and sabotage myself? I'm doing this for my family. And it always should wheel back to your why. From shame to self-compassion. I was you. I get it. I felt ashamed too. Stating the freaking obvious because they haven't had the courage. Courage comes from the heart space to actually have that aha moment yet. They just felt ick and they weren't sure why. And you're that person that drops it like a bomb and they go, oh my gosh, yes, girl. If you can do it, I can do it. And that's where we should be sitting at. From force to permission. You know how it feels when someone tries to force you to sign up to something? No, Queen, I'm giving you permission. Permission to say no, not yet. Permission to say, let me watch. Permission to tap in 2 months' time. It's free will, right? And don't feel ick about that either, because you were like that too, I'll guarantee it. And that then can be your next messaging. Use it as the hook. Yeah. Use it as that quantum leap advertising. Advertising is always there to solve the problem. Solve the problem. So we're going from force to permission. What's wrong with me to nothing's wrong. And that should be our messaging. And last slide. Here are 7 layers that do convert into sales. We call in and pattern interrupt. I'm interrupting how somebody's thinking. I'm capturing their attention. I emotionally create resonance and relatability. Stating the obvious here, but most people don't do that. If I looked at most people's pages, social media is really egotistical. It isn't trying to connect. Yeah. So we need to work in reverse here. Yeah. The ego needs to be shoved back, and connection, it's social media. I've got to connect with people that I can show a better way to do things. Belief shifting, clarity. Yeah. They're going to believe you because you're showing them how it's done. They can't negate that. Credibility and proof. Credibility comes from a third-hand person, like a testimonial, when somebody else, or alive with somebody else that talks you up without you having to talk yourself up. This is creating credibility. The genius zone of having lives with others that are similar, like-minded people like you is that the algorithm loves it. And you go onto their friends' feeds as well. So if you haven't done a live yet with someone else, I invite you to start interviewing people, asking them questions, connecting, building that fun community. Desire amplifying future vision. We're creating this vision that everybody wants to be a piece of. Like, I'm not just selling a business model here. I'm selling the juice of an aware community. I'm selling support. I'm selling you free mentoring. All of the some people with a nervous system that can't handle the goodness, they go, it's too much for me. It sounds too good to be true. So then I'm going to show them. I'm going to put the next trip that I went on with my teenies. I'm going to show them this lavish lunch that we had together. I'm selling the dream. I'm showing them that if we can do it, you can do it, right? Decision activations. That's going to lead to that. Identity-driven transformations. I used to be you. Look at me now. I never used to put my face on social media. Look at me now. If I can do this, you can too. And I'll finish with this. People buy from experts they find relatable. Well, an expert, the word there has shifted. You're the expert in the field that you have practiced. You're the expert in the story that you've overcome that was perceivably negative and now is working in your genius zone. Be clear, be human, prove the results, and your offer should feel like the obvious next step for somebody. Something that they don't have to think about. It's a hit the button, and they have to know where to find that. So that will be something that we need to work on in the near future. If somebody's trying to connect with you, how do they find you? Let's make buying feel easy, safe, and smart. We're dealing with very short attention spans here. And I know that once you implement this, you have absolutely freaking got this. Let's set an intention this week of how many customers we would like to help. Just visualize that number and let it resonate with your body. Feel the number inside of you. Does it make you feel tense? Does it make you feel excited? Does it make you feel like you've got it? Can you see it? If you can see it, it's yours. Now get to the action. I'm excited for you, and I'm going to check out your social media this week, everybody that's in this group. And I really want you to work this week on making the brand obvious. Yeah. If I were a newbie looking at your page, looking for a solution, would I find the solution within you? Do I know how to contact you? Are these things obvious as I'm scrolling? Maybe not. Thank you for being here, and I trust that you have got this process. If you need to re-watch this and take some notes, then it will be uploaded into our group. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm excited for what we're doing together here. We're changing the world one person at a time, one sale at a time, one business model at a time. Don't ever underestimate the power of collective consciousness in that.